Hi, I'm Jim Campilongo, and we're here in Brooklyn, New York. If you hear a little street noise, we're sorry, but nobody moved to Brooklyn for the quiet. Today we're going to talk about Telecasters, my 59, my custom shop Tele, and Princeton reverbs, and maybe a few more guitars if we can get around to it. At any rate, this is a 59 Telecaster. I've been playing it a long time. I really love this guitar. One of the things I like about Telecasters is they have a nice deep dish here for behind the nut bends. On this particular guitar, it's really flat here and it's small. You know, I always say it looks like an old lady's wrist, and it's really flat. So when I go back here where I play, sometimes to do the behind the nut bend stuff, there's nothing obstructing my hand, and I really like that. The other thing I like about this guitar is it has a nice wooden sound. It's really bassy sounding, and that's what I kind of go for in a Telecaster, because you know, nobody ever complained that a Telecaster didn't have enough treble. So one of the things I concentrated on, and we concentrated on for my Fender custom model, was getting some really bassy pickups, and we went through, you know, quite a few of them, and they were all really good, but I just wanted a certain sound. One thing I do is when I pick up a Tele is I'll play C sharp, you know, and if it see if that's piercing, and I don't know if this translates onto video, but you know, that's not too earth-shattering, believe me, compared to some other guitars. So the other thing I like about Telecasters is that the volumes and volume and tone knobs are really responsive, and I really employ that. I kind of do it now without thinking. But you can really get, sorry for the buzz there, you can really get a lot of variation for, that's off, that's on, and you can, you know, those are really, I mean, this is just it without the tone knob. This is with it. And I'm on about 4 or 5. If I'm on 10, it's really dramatic. It sounds more like a human voice to me, and that's kind of a Roy Buchanan thing. You know, it sounds like mourning. You know, M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G. So that's one thing I really like about it, and you know, it doesn't require, you know, Jimi Hendrix length fingers to do it. It's really a roll like this, you know. It's not like you just curl your little finger around and do that, which I think I see some people mistakenly try. So it's more like I call it, I don't know if it is, I call it like a little karate chop, because you're more like this, and then you just roll it, you know, and again. You know, so the trick is striking the note. But that just takes a little practice, you know. Again, the volume knob does the same thing. So that's, you know, off to on with that same roll. Another feature I like about Telecasters is that there's a real change between pickup sounds, which I don't find as rewarding on, let's say, a Stratocaster or something like that. Like, you know, there's kind of, when I play a Strat, and I like Strats, but I tend to just go for 2 pickup positions, you know, treble, and I like neck. But, you know, this is, you know, it's a real departure from what I was just doing, at least in my mind. You know, and then again, you know, then we have the responsive, you know, solid body, you know, potential. So I really like that as well, and it's one of the things that helps me, you know, express myself. Again, I like, there it is low. You know, and it's really responsive. It has a really sassy sound, as opposed to, you know, a Wes Montgomery sound or something like that, which is great. I mean, Wes Montgomery was a genius, but I like it for melody playing, and it just suits me and my, you know, what I'm trying to say. Okay, now I was asked to talk about some chords that I like, and you know, I thought of these. They're just 6th chords and 7th chords, but they to me they sound like a steel guitar, and they sound like a steel guitar without the thing, you know. I mean, which are nice. I like those, but these are just more hands-on, and I really try to lean towards these, even if I'm playing a jazz tune or whatever. I just really like the sound. The first one I like is just a, you know. And that's just like, it's a B flat chord with the 3rd and the bass. I think of it as the Wind Cries Mary chord, you know, and you just add 4th finger there on the 6th on the G. So it kind of looks like a G minor bar chord a little bit, but it's not G minor, it's B flat 6. And, you know, I like to break it up with my right hand to get that sound. The next one is this it's an E flat 7 chord, and it's not super friendly visually because the bass note is the flat 7 E flat, so you can't go, oh well, here's F and, you know, or E flat, you know, there's my E flat chord. It's just, you have to kind of go down a whole step or relate to this note. But I like this one because if you move it in minor thirds, it gets kind of it gets a diminished sound. Here I have a little bass line I put in the boomerang. Maybe you can hear it better this way. So I'm just kind of making this up as I go along, but have that. Then there was this, and I broke it up. And you can, you know, add wah if you want. Almost, I missed that one, but. And I think at the departure, I might have done just a straight F6. And those are some chords I really like to use. The other I like to use, and this might be a little aggressive sounding for the bass line I have, but are just these really easy to move chords. That's a B flat 7 sharp 9, like a Jimi Hendrix chord, you know, but it's just a real tight voicing. If you bring it down a half step, you got your 4 chord. That's 1. So and I like to slam it down. And that's how I would use something like that. I've heard that sometimes I'm known as the Princeton guy, and you know, I'm proud of that. I like Princetons, and sometimes people ask me about my amp settings. You know, it's no, you know, great, you know, revelation or anything, but usually I play them on 10. Today I'm on about 5 just because we were in my apartment. Usually rhythm, I mean treble goes from like 7 to 8, and I put my bass on 10 no matter what. Like, you know, I almost do that on any amp I play through. I just put the bass on 10 because as I said, you know, no one ever complained that a Telecaster didn't have enough treble. And I like what it adds. It kind of, you know, there's like a thing like you bring it in and, you know, it starts to move a little little air, you know, that bass pushes it, and I really like that. A lot of amp repair guys go, oh my God, you keep your bass on 10, and I think, why doesn't everybody, you know? But that's just me. I really like reverb. Right now it's on about 3.5. Sometimes I go up to 4, 4.5, depending on what kind of tune it is and if it's dreamy. You know, if I was going to do like In a Sentimental Mood or something. And that doesn't seem like too much to me, but that's where I keep that. I always keep these on, the intensity and the speed, as they call it. I mean, I call it vibrato, you know. So if I, you know, there it is, you know. I don't have to mess around with the pedal. I just keep that on. Usually I keep the speed at about 1 or 2, depending on the tempo of the tune. So that's about it. I put a Celestion G10 in there. Yeah, okay, a G10. I really like them. They're actually very affordable. They sound great instantly. I mean, it rounds off the high end a little bit. They're a great replacement speaker. You know, it's different than some of the old blue back and the gold back speakers, and I like those too. But as far as like a new speaker that's available, and I know there's many brands that are great, and you know, maybe I don't know about them, so you know, I'm not saying this is the absolute best, but it's certainly my choice. I really like the Celestion speaker. You know, so that's what's in the back there. That's about the whole story of the amp. I guess I'll talk about my custom shop guitar here. It's right here. It's this one is like kind of a semi-orange. There was only 2 made of these. There was 50 made of the blonde. You know, that's kind of I like the whitish blonde color of a Telecaster. I'm not a super huge fan of those kind of banana yellow Teles, but you know, I've seen some great players play them. So here's my custom, you know, turn it up a little. Yeah, it was on about 5.5. So, you know, not a great departure. In a lot of ways, this guitar is, you know, easier to play because my Tele is almost scalloped from the wear. So there's nothing, no obstructions on this. Really, it has a nice wooden sound. Again, here's that C sharp. You know, it has a nice sound. I'm really happy with what they did. I was totally honored that they made a, you know, Jim Campilongo custom shop guitar. And I certainly, you know, still kind of can't believe to see my name, you know, on the back there. So, you know, I really, really appreciate it.